Hello YouTube! Welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video. So today, as promised, I will be sharing the story of this little vampire baby, my little vampling Bronwyn. I will be showing some of the details that I forgot to show in his box opening, and then at the end I will be revealing his name. So let me first show you guys what he's wearing because he looks so stinking cute. Look at this. Look at the little shoes. And he is wearing some pink tights because that's just what I had available. In fact, those tights actually belong to Sienna, my first reborn. They're part of an outfit that came with tights, but I needed them to put underneath the pants since they're black, and I'm afraid of the ink staining the vinyl, so I had to put some tights underneath so that he would be protected from both the pants and the shoes, because the shoes are also black inside. They're not lined with anything in particular. But yeah, this outfit is from H&M and it fits him so perfectly. Look at the back, you guys. How stinking cute! That is just too adorable. You know when you find that outfit that fits them just perfectly? This is the one. This is the one for him. And it fits like the theme that I'm trying to go for with him. I'm trying to dress him in like really classy, old-timey sort of clothes. And I love this on him. And these shoes, oh my gosh, they're just way too stinking cute. So with this baby, there's not much of a story really. It's not as juicy as Kwame's story was, for example. With Kwame, there was just a lot going on. With this baby, not really. His story is more straightforward. It's more of the I saw him, I liked him, I bought him type of thing. It was just a long time from the moment that I saw him to the moment that I purchased him. Because I saw this baby on Reborns.com. Do not ask me what I was doing on Reborns.com because clearly my ass had no business being there. Especially so recently after receiving Kwame. Because Kwame, I placed the order for Kwame at the end of May and received him by the end of October, like October 21, I think, is when I had his box opening. And then this baby, I saw him, it must have been either December or January when I saw this baby for the first time on Reborns.com. Cannot remember, one of those two. So there's something that you guys should really know about me is that I love fantasy and horror dolls. In fact, I've been collecting horror dolls long before I was collecting reborn dolls, and I've been into like fantasy and alternative dolls much longer before reborns. And my love for reborns started actually with fantasy and alternative reborns. I wasn't into the standard reborns. I did find them kind of creepy. I've never felt the uncanny valley thing. I never really even understood what it was. People would try and give me examples of the uncanny valley and I was just like, nope, not feeling it, don't know what that is. I never felt that until I discovered reborns, because it was kind of like, why would you want to have something that looks like a dead baby in your house? Even though I was into horror dolls, I was like, I didn't get the whole reborn thing until I saw fantasy dolls. And that's when I went, I think I could get into reborns. You know, this is a type of doll that I would like to collect, is when I saw alternative dolls. And slowly and steadily, I got into the more mainstream, standard reborns. But fantasy reborns will always hold a special place in my heart because they were just my first love, and I love them. They're not for everyone, but I love them. And I feel like they should get more attention and more love from the general public because they are just beautiful. And I thought he was so beautiful. I was just blown away with the amount of details. And I thought, even though he's a fantasy baby, he is painted very realistically. And when I saw him, my immediate thought was he is going to sell pretty fast. I can see someone falling in love with this baby and just buying him on a heartbeat. That's what I thought. But the days went on, the weeks went by, and eventually months went by, and no one adopted this little guy. And I was just surprised, especially because when I saw him, the artist had, other babies listed for adoption, and those would go pretty fast. And he was just there, and nobody would adopt him until eventually he was the only baby up for adoption on her nursery, and no one would adopt this baby. And I was just surprised, considering, the amount of detail and just the absolute beautiful painting that this baby has. And eventually, I had a dream slash nightmare where I thought someone had adopted him. And I woke up like frantically scared and everything. And that was the point that I had to ask myself, if this baby got adopted, would I be glad that someone adopted him and that he finally went to a good home? Or would I be upset because I had the chance and I just kept passing it up? And I thought, yeah, no, I'll be really sad that I didn't get him. And I don't have the energy to be that type of person that like hunts down a baby and follows whoever adopted him and, stuff like that. So I thought, I really want this baby. So I messaged the artist, and I asked her if I could do a layaway on the baby because she had a layaway available. And she agreed. So I put the non-refundable deposit for him, and that was that. But the reason why I waited as long as I did and I did the layaway instead of just buying him, like paying for him in full, is because I had some things coming up. I had my taxes, but also because I was just waiting to receive confirmation on something from work, from my job. Basically, I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty details of it, but what happened was that the opportunity arose to go on a business trip. It was not guaranteed that I would go. It was just the opportunity. I would sign up for the opportunity to be chosen for that business trip. They were going to take a select number of people from my work to go on this business trip, and I signed myself up. And I have my passport and everything, but I needed like a new suitcase. I needed warmer clothes because where I would be going was going to be more cold. So I was just waiting. That's why I couldn't really splurge on this baby right away, because I was waiting on confirmation from that, because I was saving up for that trip. I really wanted to go. But as time went on, I found out that I was not chosen. And there's the ice cream man. Some time went by and I found out that I had not been chosen for the business trip. And not gonna lie, I was really upset. I really had my hopes up. I really had my heart set on that trip. But if it's not for me, it's not for me. And I thought, well, even better, because now I can just pay the rest for the baby instead of doing like a monthly payment as we had agreed. So I just messaged the artist right after finding out. I'm like, I can pay for the rest of the baby. So I did. And then he was on his way to me. So because he was coming from Chile, The artist did let me know that the transit time was going to be between 10 and 15 days. And I was okay with that. I've waited much longer. Even for things that are coming from the US, I've waited over a month. So 10 to 15 days, that's nothing really. I was fine with that. But it actually took much less. The transit time was less than 10 days. So what happened was that she gave me the tracking number and she gave me the website that I was supposed to track him on. And it is, of course, a website from Chile. But I don't have permission to go to that website. I don't know how to explain it if you guys are familiar with like VPNs and stuff like that and regional restrictions, and you might understand. But yeah, I could not access the website. I was not allowed to access the website. So I had to track him on a global tracking app. And that's how I followed him. But that global tracking app did not notify me when he made it to Puerto Rico, because when he entered Puerto Rico, his tracking number changed and now he was under FedEx. The artist did let me know. She was like, once he makes it to Puerto Rico, he's going to have a FedEx tracking number. So I was just waiting and waiting on the tracking app to see what the new tracking number was, and they never notified me. And then my mom, I worked from the afternoon into nighttime, and then my mom called me when I was at work. She was like, "Oh, are you expecting something in the mail from FedEx?" And I'm like, "Yeah, the baby. But, he shouldn't be here." I'm like, "Well, they left you a little note that they have tried to deliver the item and they're not available." I'm like, "What?" So apparently they had tried to deliver him twice, and they were going to try for a third and final time. If I had not been there, he would have been sent back. And I was like, "Nope, I am not missing him. I am not taking that chance." So on that last day, that last attempt, I skipped work just so I could receive this baby, because I was not taking that chance. But they didn't try redelivery. What they did is that they just held him at the post office and they called me and they told me that they were just going to hold him there and I could go pick him up. So I did. On that same day, brought him home, filmed the box opening that you guys saw. So it was a little bit hasty because, I did leave in a hurry and came back in a hurry, and I was just like, so excited waiting to open him. That's why there's a lot of heavy breathing in that video, which I don't like, but hey, what can you do? I have a little microphone from the headset that I use to film, so that's what this cable is for. So that's why you can hear everything, and sometimes you can hear a little bit more than I would like you to hear. That was his story. So I'm going to show you guys a little clip of some of the details that I filmed for him in better daylight. The camera still doesn't know what to do with him. It doesn't know if he's more yellow like me or if he's more pink. So it constantly shifts around between making him like really warm and yellow toned or really pale and pinky. But he's kind of in between. He has a lot of redness, but he's not super pale or rosy. He definitely has some warmth to him, which I love. But yeah, so a lot of the details you already saw on him. You saw the little red spot on his forehead that's shaped like a heart, by the way. His beautiful painted hair. The gorgeous detail on his mouth. He has milk bumps, which are textured. The pimples on his face are also textured. They're not just for show. Capillaries. He has a lot going on. His painting is absolutely gorgeous. Another detail that I forgot to mention in his box opening video is that just like Kwame, if you guys saw his details video, Kwame has a little stamp on his cloth body that is proof of work from his artist. It has the nursery name. This baby has something similar, but in his case, it's a little belly button on his cloth body that has the nursery name of the artist as well. So that makes him just really cool and special when artists do that. Some people don't like it, but I do. It's just something, it's proof of work and also just makes the baby much more unique since that is something that I here cannot replicate. So I think that's really cool and awesome. So now that I have shown you guys some of his details, the last thing is to mention his name. So like I said at the beginning of the video when I was talking about his outfit, I really want to go for like an old-timey Victorian era theme for him with his clothes and just everything. So when I was looking for names for him, I wanted to find a really like old school name that's no longer like being used, at least not a lot. At first I looked at vampire names, but like 75% of the vampire names that got suggested were from the Twilight Saga, which, no hate, I have no personal quarrel with the Twilight Saga, but yeah, I just didn't want a name from that. So I just looked and looked, and I also didn't like the very obvious names like Dracula, Vladimir, Nosferatu, Bram, after, you know, Bram Stoker, the man who wrote Dracula. I was just not feeling them. I like them, but it's like, they're the go-to names. So I just started looking at more Victorian era names. And I stumbled upon a name that I really loved. It's not a very popular one. My mom hates it. My mom really hates it. Without further ado, everyone, I want you to meet Balthazar. So he's going to be little baby Balthazar. My mom just doesn't like the name because it makes her think of, you know, the three wise men. But that is not the emotional correlation that I have with that name. I just think it fits. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and thank you guys so much for watching my box opening and for all the lovely comments and support. I read every single one. And yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again in the future. Bye bye.